Good evening, viewers. I, Pulomanandi from Global Education and Training Institute, the host of this session of the movement #Disruptive Education, welcome you all once again in this very prestigious forum of Global Education and Training Institute with another speaker. Today we have Ms. Rati Ganashekar. Rati Ganashekar is a pharmacist turned into an educator. After completing her master's in pharmacy from Madras Medical College, she worked as a research associate and editor for a scientific journal. But she wanted to do something of her own. And then she started pursuing her master's in English, followed by a diploma in teachers training. And that is when the things fell in place. And Miss Rathi has established her own play school, Tulip, in Chennai, which is now successfully running its 7th year. She loves and relishes teaching these tiny tots, but due to this lockdown, she really misses her kids. So today, she is with us to share her thoughts with us on how to engage these kids or any children during this lockdown in a very productive way. So let us all have a patience hearing and listen to her what she has to discuss, and this will surely help us all because we as a parent, we as a viewer, anyone, we know how difficult it is to keep our kids engaged in this lockdown. So today's topic is engaging and educating children during lockdown. And she's going to share a lot of informative things, a lot of tips that will be helping the parents and whereby it will help as a whole the parents and the kids to be engaged in a very productive and successful manner. So I, on behalf of Global Education and Training Institute, warmly welcome Miss Rati in today's session of this movement of #Disruptive Education, whereby she's going to share her thoughts and help us all to have some value addition to this very important topic of engaging and educating the children during lockdown. Rati, you are most welcome, and I'm really glad to see you here today as one of our speakers. And I request the viewers, please post your questions during this session so that after the session is done, Ms. Rati can get back to you with your question answers round, and we can have a good interaction. And any query, any questions, please feel free to post in the comment section. So welcome you all once again. And Rati, now it's over to you. Thank you.
Good evening, one and all. I am as well as delighted to join this live session with you, Ms. Puloma Nandi, and it is nice meeting you again in a live session. I think we met already once. Okay, and I thank the Global Education and the Training Institute, this is GETI, for this opportunity for me to come and speak about the topic. And also, I appreciate their contribution, constant contribution in the field of education and supporting all of this. And I hope, before I start the session, I hope that all the parents and all the people around are healthy, safe, and sound during this pandemic. Hope this topic on engaging and educating children is fine to be interesting and informative for you all. Okay, let's move on to the session. The topic for today will be engaging and educating children during lockdown. I welcome you all to the new normal. Our routines are changing and our lives are upbeat by the changes brought by this COVID-19. We are entering a new phase called a new normal. The whole world is working out on how to live with it. And we are in need to accept this new normal. And maybe it will be very difficult for us we are breaking our works, our children are not going to school, all our offices are shut, everything is not in the way we want, but we are in a position to accept it. The first and foremost thing I would suggest is, during this lockdown time, is spend some kind of quality time with your family. As a parent, you might often find yourself juggling with your work and family, and this is very tough for working women generally. And also, many of the fathers will always have some kind of like, I'm not spending time with my family, I'm not spending time with my children, and all those. They will always feel bad about it. But this is the right time for you to spend a quality time with your family. The balance often seems to tilt over sometimes when you are tightly scheduled with work and things. But consider this lockdown period to be a blessing in your disguise. This is the chance for you to bond with your children and spend a quality time and with your family and your children and your relatives, your friends, everything. So do make the most of it, as your kids miss you when you are busy with your respective schedule. So the first and foremost thing which I would like to insist during this lockdown period is, I want you all to give your 100% to your family. Stay in touch with peers through technology. This is my second thought. So generally during this lockdown period, many we are supposed to make your children to stay them in connected with your family, friends, and relatives. So technology is helping us a lot. So you can plan some fun activities over a video call with their peers, coordinate with the parents of their peers so that they can do activities together over video calls. It is very important for you all to stay in touch with them. You can also work on some quizzes, you can play games, you can read stories together. Any fun activity can be done. You can play music, you can dance. This is what generally I do for my family and my children, and I also encourage all my school kids also to do the same. Talking to friends, connecting with them during this quarantine can make your kids feel that they are all sailing in the same boat. So it is what happening with others also. Maybe sometimes your kids may think only I am going undergoing all this problem, and maybe my friends are okay with their family. But by just talking with them, you can easily overcome all these issues. The foremost thing which I would advise the parents is to limit your time on social media and watching news. This can be tough for some people because whenever we are feeling bored, we I see like 90% of the people are with the smartphones, scrolling down up and down with the social media, reading some news quite often, and texting somebody every time we are busy. But what happens is the constant exposure to the news regarding this COVID-19 can be very harmful to not only to you but for all of us. And we also constantly post messages, we read messages. The constant news also is very, very stressful. So what I would suggest is, you can put a limit on how long you will spend on a social media and how much of the news you will watch each day. Maybe I don't suggest that you should not watch news or see TV or get updated. That is not the thing. But you have to know the current situation. Everything is fine, but see to that you spend very little time, or even your child is exposed to those news only for a particular time, not the full day. I've seen families who are watching this COVID news right from morning 9 to evening 5 o'clock, and that itself will cause a lot of stress and worry to all of them. Okay, consider doing the same thing for your children as well. Their exposure to news of COVID-19 can cause fear, worry, stress, which can lead to so many effects of irritability, acting out, unhealthy eating habits, sleep habits, excessive sadness, difficulty in attention and concentration. I have, seen all these with elders, because elder people, they constantly keep on watching news and they feel like they are getting into a very big bad phase in their whole life. And just because by hearing news, they get ill also. Constant pressure on them, constant stress on them is making the elder people also to become very ill. uh, just to overcome all these stress and all those things, I would encourage them to cultivate a new hobby. The next time your child complains of an utter boredom, encourage your child to nurture any one of a new hobby. Hobbies play a very important role in diminishing unavoidable stress, as they provide an outlet for creativity. You can help your child pick and develop a hobby. Hobbies don't have to be very conventional. Anything can be a hobby. You can ask your child to do a painting, a dancing, and even it will change for each and every day. So sometimes they love to cook, sometimes they dance, sometimes they paint, or playing. You can play an indoor game with your children. Can be some of the hobbies you can help them to take up. Each hobby comes with its own creativity, and your child will have something to look forward to each day. So help your kids develop those hobbies and tap that inner passion during this lockdown period. And I also suggest that everybody should grow your own garden, a small terrace garden or any small setup, whichever is possible. And you should teach the children about the importance of growing your own food, the kind of work, that the kind of involvement that is involved in growing up a food crop or whatever it is. You can either sow a vegetable or any greens, whatever it may be. But cultivating the habit of growing plants and trees, and to give them the importance of growing trees, and you have to increase their ideas on the environment, the trees, the plantation, the pollution, everything. Origami is one of the best kind of hobby, or a time pass which can be done for the children. Like you can even conduct some kind of simple experiments like gardening, or even some DIY activities like building your own telescope, or some of the great ideas by which you can engage your child. Hobbies aren't just distractions. They help develop your child's concentration levels and make them more productive. For example, we take for origami, it improves working memory and your hand and eye coordination. Many of you don't know this fact. Thus, children working on origami have a close related to mathematics, that they can learn measurements and even fractions using origami techniques. So I would suggest origami as a very good hobby. Okay, and this is far most important. And this modern age parents, they teach so many things for the children, but teaching life skills is a big problem. Have you ever felt that most of the things you've learned in an educational institution are not useful for you in everyday day-to-day life? Say one day your maid takes leave, what happens in your house? Your cooking work, cleaning work, your total house is in mess. So the life skills are very, very important for the children, and it is the right time for you to insist it to them. Here is where you can change all the things. Home is always a great learning space, and you can teach your kids the life skills that will nurture their independency and self-sufficiency. When they grow up, when they move to some foreign places or they are independent, they go as a student, they should be able to know all these life skills like cooking, cleaning houses, whatever it may be, so that they will be self-sufficient and independent and could survive at any situation in any part of the world. So depending on your child's age, teach them to fix a light bulb. You can ask them to stitch a small button. You can ask them to help in cooking. You can introduce some concepts some bigger concepts like banking, and you can tell them what is a tax, how much of tax you're paying, what are all the properties you have, and what been doing all these years. Insurance is also very important, and also give them knowledge about the current affairs and encourage them to keep to help you in the kitchen at all times. This will definitely help them for a long run. And these kind of trainings or improving skills is very important, and this cannot be done in any of the classroom, and nobody will be teaching all this. It is only up to the parents to teach the life skills. And this lockdown period where you are all at home, this will give you a lot of chance and a lot of encouragement for the children to learn all the life skills. Okay, and household chores. And we generally think certain jobs are meant for certain people, and we generally don't, ask our children to sweep the house or to keep things properly or arrange books, everything. And always we insist that somebody is there to do it. So it is either the mother or the father or the maid in the house does it. But you have to insist that cleanliness is next to godliness. As the famous proverb says, all the children should implement this thought, and you should start doing or practicing cleanliness at home. You might have learned these phrases in school, but it is important that they have to implement it in practice, and it can happen only by involving them. Just telling them will not help. You have to involve them in the household works. After all, if they learn from an young age that no work is big or small, they will turn up to be more empathetic individuals. Whether it is your son or a daughter, don't restrict some particular job for your daughter. Some jobs are to be done only by girls, some to be done by your son. And don't ever, never ever restrict jobs according to the gender. Encourage your child to help small work, small chores like cleaning the room, dusting shelves, folding clothes, and all these are very important life skills which will make them or groom them to become an organized and a disciplined individual. The next important thing is to schedule a suitable playtime. Identify the hours when your workload peaks, your production is optimal, or when you cannot afford distractions. So when you're working, you schedule a particular time. This is particularly for when both the parents are working. Let these hours be the prime playtime for your kids. Keep aside some of their favorite toys and games to be exclusively used during these hours. Consider setting up a dedicated play area with a variety of engaging playtime apparatus. And also ensure that the play area is hygiene and safe for your child to play alone there. You can also get use of a webcam under remote supervision. Creating a no pressure zone. Home is always a place to be peaceful. This is a great time to help your child overcome their anxiety related to learning. You can utilize this time to identify and work on the topics your child is struggling with. Unlike in school, there is no competition, there is no comparison. Ma'am will not say A is doing well, B is not doing well. He is a good boy, you're a bad boy. So there is no kind of discrimination or nothing happens at home. So you are always the best. So, improve that kind of encourage your child in that way. And unlike in school, children can learn at their own pace at home. There's no pressure to catch up with their peers. There is no hesitation to go over and over any particular concept multiple times, and no competition for the quickest learner in the class. Always there will be a quickest learner in the class, and everybody will be competing with that person. So that is not going to happen in your home. And you are the only person, and I think parent can make use of this, and you can teach your child, and whichever subject, or if he or she is weak, you can go further and further again. Maybe, for example, if your child has maths phobia, for example, you can explore various learning aids and help them face their fears. Encouraging learning at home. What we generally do once children come from school, we get them ready, drop them in a tuition center. And so hardly children spend time at home. And the reason is your parents are working, you don't have time to sit with your child. This is what been happening for years. But now you have a time, you have a dedicated time for your child as well now. So what you do is you can recreate a classroom setting at home. Just declutter all your children's study area, motivate them, and make a kind of school setup. In this place is only for learning. Explore the digital space of educational resources which give you the power to make learning engaging through visuals, animations, and game. A lot of stuff's available online with which parents can make use of it. You can experiment to see what interests your child and what holds their attention. Okay. Parents are the role models. Okay. Always children grow up looking at you. Children look up to parents, and children are just our reflections. Okay. So what do? We sit on the computers, we sit on our smartphone for hours, but we don't want our child to do it. We eat a lot of junk foods, and we ask the child not to go for it. And see, and we don't follow routine. We get up at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and we ask the child to be on time. And this is like what happens when we don't follow a routine, but we are expecting our child to do something. It is always difficult. Don't really force them for anything, any particular thing. And what they really want is your love, your care, and the freedom to do what they like. So you are the role model. You act accordingly as like parent as your children. Okay, this is an interesting concept. Instead of people packing and getting to some tour agents, visiting various places, has been completely shut down, and digital tour is the only option we are left with. So, digital tour to different places in various parts of the world can be taken, and we can use the digital platform available online, and the children can be taken to visit so many countries. You can teach them about various culture, the heritage, the language they speak, the government, the setup, the beautiful places. And many countries have a visual tour for their country monuments, the museums, the beautiful places, many scenic places. Everything can be shown to the child. Enrolling child in online activities. So many people find that online classes may not be useful, but it is not so. Say, take time and try to understand the interests and hobbies of your kids. Accordingly, you can enroll them in different activities and classes, such as like general knowledge, art and craft, music classes. Give them a specific fun task to do based on what they have learned in the activity in the classes. This will help to channelize their energy while doing something creative and productive. You can also subscribe to an audio app for children like Audible is being used, where children's stories are shared in a fun and engaging way. They can even dance to their favorite songs or take up any physical activity classes to keep their bodies active. Asthenopia, maybe it's a new term, it's nothing but the eye strain. The eye strain of, we have seen children using 4 to 5 hours for online classes, the elder ones, even the parents, they are spending a lot of time on screen. This eye strain, it's very irritating. It causes dryness, it causes itching in the eyes with frequent headaches when you are exposed to screen for a long time. By taking frequent breaks, you can very well control it. And in schools, it is very popular to use this 20-20-20 technique. It is nothing but every 20 minutes, you are supposed to look at a distant object which is 20 feet far away from you for 20 seconds. So this break technique is very famous among schools now, which is used to to improve the circulation in eye, to reduce the strain, and it is showing very good results. Maybe parents who are engaging children for online classes can try this. These are some of the helpful tips for the working mothers. Plan your important task during the child's nap timings. Generally, kids' naps timing remain consistent so that you can plan your calls or meetings during that time. Make sure that your kids have a proper schedule during weekdays, and you can give some relaxations during the non-working days. You can even encourage them to create their own weekly plan. Maybe this one the elder kids. You have to communicate with your kid properly and regularly to keep them or to understand them and what they are expecting from you. Keep your workstation at an isolated space so that the kid can distinguish it from the playing area. Also, they should understand that it is the restricted zone, especially when their mom or dad is busy with work. Also, for working parents, what I would suggest is you can encourage your children to play independently so that when nobody is always around, he must be always confident and must be able to play alone during your working hours. And this is very important as this has been constantly propagated by the government and media. Proper teaching of personal hygiene and social distancing has to be insisted. Though it has been several times been told by the people, by the government and the media, there are people who are irresponsible. They just roam around and always encourage the child. Generally, we don't go out, but any unexpected situation, we are going out, coming inside. This is also for the parents. See to that you wash your hands, change clothes, have a shower, and then get into your house. Do not, generally, even you can maintain distance even within your family also. It's foremost important to explain this to our children as well. Teach your children to respect the frontline workers and the doctors. You have to explain the kind of mental trauma and pressure the sanitary workers, the nurses, and the doctors undergo. And it is very important for them, for the children to realize and respect them. And far most important is to manage your diet and to improve your immunity. Maintaining health is of foremost importance. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being. Health is nothing, it is not just merely the absence of any disease. You don't think that you don't have a disease, you are healthy. You should be physically, mentally, you should be healthy. It is very important for all of us to maintain good health and immunity by taking a balanced diet, cut on your extra carbs, your junks, and to cultivate good eating habits. Consuming the right amount of water is also very important. I've seen several children, skipping the normal water intake, which is leading to severe illness with them. A 20-minute daily routine of home exercise is a must for all of us, and encourage before, like the routine, like how they brush, how they take bath. A 20 minutes routine of workout is essential for everybody. Practicing any kind of fitness routine along with yoga, meditation will definitely help in boosting immunity for us and as well as our children. These are some of the suggested activity for your children. Though you're not able to go for a picnic, you can just have an indoor picnic, or you can just grab a sheet, all can sit down, You can bring whatever food you have done cooked already. A simple memory game can also be placed, and you can ask the children, just remember in order what everyone is bringing, and then one thing each turn. It is like adding on. You can set up a treasure hunt. Treasure hunts are pretty easy, and depending on how many items there are, hide anywhere from 10 to 20 items inside your house, and this will keep your kids occupied for few hours. Hide some useful things, ask the child to spell the name and use of that thing once he or she finds it. So you can draw some simple puzzles, some dot to dot shapes, crosswords. Anything can be done in a child's rough note. It helps to engage children in a useful manner, which will improve the child's memory, attention, concentration, problem solving, and to speed up the flexibility of thinking. I have shared some of the online classes like Best Academy, Khan Academy, the Udemy, Brain Pop. These are some of the resources which is available online, where which you can make use of it. Okay, here comes the way we handle stress. Okay, so as the way a adult is taking stress during the lockdown, so as the child. And just so see, because the routine is cut and they are not going to schools, and we are in need to understand the child's emotion and support them as they are left with nothing to do at home. We have a home routine, we cook, we clean, we do office work, so many things, but the child is juggling, is struggling to do what can be done at home. So it is up to us to engage our child. The children generally do not differentiate boredom with hunger. This is what happens in most of the houses. As a result, they will end up eating a lot of junks every 1 hour. I find children asking for snacks and food. This will definitely deteriorate their health. And now comes the challenges faced by the teachers teaching online. As everybody can agree to it, nothing can replace a real school structure, but teachers are trying their best to create the atmosphere at home. As like the frontline warriors, every teacher is working really hard to engage children in all possible ways with the minimum possible resources within their home. So the transition from a real classroom to a digital platform is very challenging, and the teachers are putting on their 100% efforts to make it much fruitful. What I would suggest the parents is, do support the teachers. Take online classes seriously. Maybe for less than 5 years it is fine. Maybe your classes, your children may be in higher classes. So the online classes which is being taught by the school has to be taken seriously, because you cannot waste 1 year of your academic or curriculum. So, and also please don't be very judgmental about the teachers. Encourage a child to make use of the session from their schools. And the foremost thing, respect the teachers from either you as well as your child, and explain your children the kind of, the involvement, the effort a teacher is putting. Okay, these are some of the other online courses available. The coding classes, there are certain crash courses for children also. And there are many nice videos can be seen through the sci shows. For kids, a lot of scientific shows are being done, and kids learning tube is there. The National Geographic Kids is also very important, very useful, and very interesting also. Maybe you can try with these online resources. Okay, this is the end of the slide. I wish everyone stays positive, and even this shall even pass by. And thank you. And that's the
Thank
end
you.
of the session. Okay. Any questions you have, you are free to ask me.
Yeah, thank you, Rati. Can you just stop the screen sharing, Rati? Yes, if it is done.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. And what you explain is really what is needed. It was indeed a great session with lot of information and tips that will definitely help all our viewers, especially the parents who are dealing with this tiny tots, the kids who are in the kindergarten, basically in the early years. So it's really challenging when we talk about this age group. It becomes even more difficult because as an adult, if we are going through the same depression and frustrations, I'm sure as a kid, as you rightly said, a lot of things are even going in their minds. Thank you so much for this lovely session. And there are questions which have come. I'll just take one by one.
Yeah.
One question has come from Sandhya. It's showing on the screen. Uh, the question is, does online classes really work? So, what you have to say about it?
Okay, it's just like I don't say that online class work 100%. There are like lot of difficulties, there are a lot of things involved in it, but what I would say is something is better than nothing. So without making the kid ideal sitting at home, an online class will definitely help a child in almost everything. And that's what I've been telling to understand a teacher also, and help them, the teachers support the teachers, because they are preparing a lot. Just to come online, it's not an easy thing. So teaching a live class and also attending an online class is not easy. There are a lot of connection errors. To get the attention from children is itself very big task. We've been working very hard on it, and there is no other option. We have to go in for these online classes, and please do support us.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure the message has gone very clear that as a parent, they should also support because teachers are really working hard. Though it cannot replace the real classroom teaching learning process, but we don't have any other options. So
Option.
it's something, yeah. Thank you. I come up with the next question, which is asked by Nivedita. Children always prefer junk over healthy foods. So, how do we handle it? And especially during this crisis time, as you said in your talk also, that every now and then they keep asking about, snacks. Maybe that's some kind of emotional disturbances or mental frustrations since they are under, the lockdown in the captivity. So, what can you suggest on this?
The real problem is the children are not hungry. They are just feeling bored. Just to get out of the boredom, they've been asking for food. Even that happens with my children also. Every 1 hour, they are left out without any work. They are not without any classes. They are not playing anything. No, suddenly they will say that I'm hungry. Just make something, and they don't want to eat any regular diet or regular healthy food. They always are looking for junk. So that is what I've been telling. Just whenever the child feels like bit boredom, and that is what is generally pushing children to get into the junk food and the bad health habits. So just practice a hobby, practice something which is interesting for your child, play with them, and spend some quality time. Definitely you can overcome this problem.
So, I
Don't
think
let your child
slowly
feel bored. Yes.
slowly we can just arrest it, like,
Arrest it
not
slowly,
all of
slowly.
a sudden.
Engaging is the only way, so that you can reduce your boredom. You can cut down the extra carbs and junks.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. One more question has come from Adhirai. The question is, how could we overcome fear, stress, and unhealthy eating habits?
I'll tell you, like the main cause of stress and fear is watching too much of news. This has been happening. Yes, that's a real fact. We've been watching news for more than 5 hours a day. We see people dying, we see people suffering, and we don't restrict to the news and the social media. The more we are exposed to the news, the more stress we take. This COVID-19 can be easily eradicated, or can be easily, the numbers can come down by our methods, or our physical cleaning habits, or our social distancing. So when this can be overcome, you have another possibility. So why do you have to worry? Why do you have to get stressed about these habits? So just reduce the timing. I'm not telling you not to watch news or not to, get updated. You just get updated, but don't keep on pushing it. Okay, don't get involved in the news. You are not getting anything, and why do you keep stressing on all of the things, unnecessary things?
Fine. So we have to keep them away from such media where, and I think at home also it's important that adults do not talk much on such things because that affects them badly. So we have to talk positive. We have to talk as if it's just a new normal and something which is can be easily overcome, nothing to fear about, right? Thank you. So another question has come from Shiva Kumar. Uh, he says, Rati madam, can you please give some tips for kids on how to engage themselves in online classes as well as offline amidst the problems, pandemic?
Pandemic, okay. That is, it's a very tricky question because, children, they don't like to sit in an online class. That is
Yeah.
very true. And even I handle the same problem with my kid. What I do
Mhm.
is I sit along with my child, and if there is any problem in him understanding, or if the teacher is too fast or too slow, I always sit along with my child, help him to read, to write, take notes, and explain it one more time. So this is the way how you can involve your child in an online class. Offline, you have to play with your child. You have to become a child, because there are
Hmm.
so many a single child in a family, they don't have another person to play. So the child is much more stressed than children having siblings. This is a very big problem, and the child is very, very depressed. So just take it as a challenge. That is what I've been telling. Create a hobby. You play with them, engage them, or see, any maybe life skills is very, very important. You can ask him to help in cooking, cutting vegetables, whatever it is. Any small help. Just ask him to pick up clothes, fold it. Just anything can be done to involve a child. You're working along with the child. He'll be your best friend, your best partner, and you can do wonders with children.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, I think that's very important tips that offline, I think we have a lot of things to do as a parent at home, as an adult, to how well we can engage them in life skills activities and
Skills.
productive work. And that will otherwise just not in this pandemic, but in their later future also, it will
Also,
help them to survive being an independent person. That's really good suggestion. Thank you so much, Ms. Rati, for this wonderful explanation. And I thank the viewers because I am really glad to see quite a good number of questions have come up. So it shows that as a parent, you all are really looking forward to engage your kids in this lockdown in a very productive and interesting way. Thank you for posting the question. And just one question from my side, Rati, like, when we talk about this online, it is even more challenging when it comes to, the young kids compared to the grown-ups, right? And at times it's been observed that they are okay with one session, but then they lose the patience and they don't want to attend the another session, or maybe they are okay with one day, the next day they are not ready to sit for the online session. So why is this happening, and what you think can be the best way out, whereby we can have some good way out to this problem?
it is to make a class interesting. Either it is an online or an offline. It is completely depending on the teacher. A teacher
Mm-hmm.
can make anything interesting. Okay, see, maybe we talk a lot in a real class. Maybe in an online classes, maybe we share a lot of virtual things to a child. Before explaining, a teacher can add a lot of audio visuals so that the child easily picks up the concepts. So that is a very important thing. What I suggest to the teachers who are taking online classes, even I do take classes, I send them with lot of audio visuals, and a simple way in which they can easily understand, because it is not like what happens in the real class. I cannot face read a child. Generally, a teacher, what she does it like, she goes and she face read a child. and we will easily understand this if the child understands the concepts or not, but that is not going to happen in the online class. So that is the reason the child is feeling boredom. The child needs a one-to-one connection. They connect to us, they connect to us emotionally. Without an I, this is what my style of teaching. I get connected to a child emotionally, and then only I teach. Only when a child likes a teacher, then only the child learn. The first thing is the child should feel safe and comfortable with the teacher. It is in the hands of the teacher. I will not blame the students. It is 100% with the teachers to make the child sit in a class. And I am very proud to say that I have been taking classes and none of my children complain this. And also, like, not extending long hours is one of the best options. See, a child can sit only for 30 minutes for a session, and don't increase the sessions. Make it small, make it very crisp, make it a 30-minute session, give a break, give a half an hour break, or take only 30-minute session per day for the lower kindergarten levels. For the higher classes, maybe you can give a break, you can give a 30-minute session, and then you can continue and make the class interesting. I will never blame a child. It is all up to the teacher.
Thank you so much. I think teachers should really take this into consideration, and they must customize their class in that way that the kids are attracted and the kids really feel, and they look forward to the class online. So it should be in a very natural, spontaneous, very interactive, with a lot of fun adding things, and not kind of boring
Boring
and
classes.
stressful. Yes. So I think we have done with the questions that were posted, and I still would like to inform the viewers that even later, if you have anything to ask, you can freely post your questions in the comment section, and we'll get back to you. And you can have a look to this recording video of this session, and feel free. And thank you so much for all of you to stay tuned with us till the end of this session, and asking questions, and coming up with your thoughts and queries. Thank you so much. And coming back to Rati, thank you for your time, Rati, and thank you for sharing such lovely, informative things in this forum. And I'm sure it will be helpful for so many parents and viewers, because this lockdown is not a matter of few days. You don't know how long it will uh, yeah, it will extend, and it will continue. As we say, that it's the new normal now, so we have to cope up with this new normal, and see that we go over this and adapt it in the best possible way, whereby we all are happy at the end of the day, and we are bringing some productivity in this engagement. Thank you so much for your valuable thoughts, sharing your valuable thoughts. And thank you once again. See you all. Stay safe, and take care. So, goodbye.
Thank you, Ms. Fulama, and thank you all my viewers for the support and your questions also. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye bye. Thank you. Bye bye. And be safe, all of you. Thank you.